My name's Lewis O'Brien. Over the past 25 years, I've helped clients, friends, and family buy and sell thousands of homes. In these 5-minute guides, I'm going to cover a series of topics that I think all home buyers should be aware of. However, unfortunately, too many home buyers don't know that they need to know these things or don't know who to ask. So let's get on with it. A finance condition is exactly that. A condition that makes your obligation as purchaser to settle the purchase of the property conditional on your obtaining finance approval from a bank. Obviously, in some cases, like an auction or where the vendor is not agreeable, you can't have a finance condition, but for private sales, it's relatively common. Appearing on your screen at the moment is the most common formulation of a finance condition in Victoria. I know it's a lot of words, but it's worth reading just to make sure that you're aware of what the condition says and so that the comments that are about to follow make more sense. The first issue is understanding how to make a contract conditional on finance. Again, with a standard contract in Victoria, it's relatively simple. All you need to do is complete some details in the particulars of sale, insert the name of your proposed lender, the amount of the loan that you need, and the date by which you expect to have finance, i.e. the date on which the finance condition will expire. As a general proposition, unless you do this, your contract will not be conditional on your getting finance approval. As a purchaser, your right to terminate under the finance condition is not absolute. You must make a genuine attempt to get finance, which includes applying quickly and doing everything reasonably required by your lender to get finance approval. If you're in a position where you need to terminate the contract, you also need to make sure that you are not in default under the terms of the contract in order to be able to terminate it. It is not uncommon for a vendor to ask for a letter from your bank or finance broker confirming that you have indeed attempted to obtain finance. In circumstances where your finance has been declined or you've been unable to obtain finance within or before the deadline date, you do have a 2-day grace period to provide written notice to the vendor that your finance has been declined or simply not approved at this stage. Shortly before the finance condition expires, as a purchaser, you need to carefully consider your position. If your finance has been approved, all is well and good. Ideally, you should advise the vendor that your finance has been approved and that the finance condition thereby satisfied. If your finance is taking longer than expected, it's worth notifying the vendor that your finance is in progress, you remain optimistic about the outcome, but you do need an extension or formal extension of the deadline for the finance condition. On the other hand, if your finance has not been approved, or in fact has been declined, or it hasn't been approved and you don't wish to proceed with the purchase, then you need to advise the vendor of this in writing. It's critical to realize that if you fall asleep at this point and do nothing, the contract will become unconditional, regardless of whether your finance has been approved or not. This is clearly an outcome to be avoided. I believe that the standard finance condition in Victoria is reasonably balanced, which is to say fair to both parties. However, as a purchaser, it's important to remember the deadline for finance approval, the conditions that you need to satisfy if you want to reserve the right to terminate under the finance condition, and also the formalities required to formally terminate the contract. Naturally, your solicitor or conveyancer should be there to assist with any queries that you have in relation to the finance condition. However, as a purchaser, I think it's helpful to have an understanding of the basics, and hopefully this video has assisted in that regard. I hope you've enjoyed this video and got some value from it. If you have, then I'd encourage you to share it with a friend, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or subscribe to our newsletter at lewisobrien.com.au. We do intend to create a series of videos, but your feedback and suggestions will be invaluable.